Hey guys, it's Jess again, and I got second place at Nats.
And I got top 16.
Yeah, so for it, we both played the exact same deck list. Deck list was broken.
Deck list was insane, honestly. All day. It felt so good.
Because I went 16-1. I honestly, a 16 match win streak with this list. I think it's absurd. I wouldn't change a thing. And yeah, we'll get into the deck list. It's Rikka Sunavalon, as you'd kind of expect. But yeah, let's go into it. Right, so for the main deck, we'll get to the side next later. We played a more board breaker style build, but the engine requirements are still more or less the same. So we've got 3 loci, 1 sewing, 1 twin, and 3 unexpected die. I don't think there's anything to say about this. You can play 2 sewing, like we tested things like Blink Out, which you can play 2 sewing for, but it's always like really meh to draw.
Yeah.
Even if you draw other starters.
A lot of people just like hit Evil Seed as well. Like, if you draw Blink Out and they like hit Evil Seed, it's just kind of dead. So we didn't end up playing that.
Yeah, but like I like this ratio personally. So that's an 8-card engine. Then we've got 3 Evil Seed, 1 Beetle, and 1 Bloom for the Ragnarika engine. The other card I put in the Ragnarika engine is the Lone Fire, because pretty much every time you're doing the Ragnarika combo now, we're going effective Beetle when we link it off to summon back the Lone Fire, and then either get access to Rose Whip or Petal or Moodan typically, depending on the combo line. Yeah, this is the best. It's the best extender. It's a starter. It's an extender. You have to max out on this. I know there are lists that play 3 copies of Bloom and then another Ragnarika to use Bloom as a starter. However, when we tried it, it always found quite cloggy because you end up having to discard an extra card, and I prefer just the base engine, to be honest.
Very nice shiny cards.
Of course. We'll go, so for Aroma package, we got a lot of engines in this deck. 3 Rosalina, 1 Laurel, 1 Blend, 1 Winds. There is no explanation needed for this. You only need 1 of these now.
Yep.
Because of the combo. Nothing to add there.
Yep, nothing to add.
Yep, that's a standard package. And then Therions. 3 Lilyboria, 1 Disc Colosseum, 1 Regulus. There is the other alternative to Regulus, which is the Reptile one, which we did try, but it just didn't seem worth it.
Snake Eyes of being on more board breaker decks and stuff like board breaker options and stuff like that. The Regulus is just way too valuable in my opinion.
Yeah, especially after things like Italian Nationals where we saw more board breaker style lists. I much prefer to have the Regulus.
Yeah.
Also, it helps play through hand traps anyway, so. Then, for the Rikka engine, I guess 3 Princess, 1 Snowdrop, 1 Moodan, 1 Petal. I know I've been on 2 Moodan for a very long time. I think now that we have the Ragnaraika engine, we don't need access to the second one as much because you don't want to hard draw it as much. Because, yeah, the Ragnaraika engine is just a significantly better extender than the Moodan. And the combos have only ever really needed 1.
Yeah, 1 Moodan was, great.
And then for the spells, we used to play Triple Karma because Tribute to Double Search, Petal plus Evil Seed is the best extender in the deck. Double Con-Con, second one's needed for the grind game, it's also a bit of a nice board breaker. And Rikka Sheet. I like this in main because it's also good going second. I find it's even when you try to break boards, if you can't fully break a board, especially if they go SP, Banish itself and normally Zelantis.
Yeah.
Being able to have this as follow-up to stop them fully breaking your board.
Yeah. Like in draw phase, you can just clear when the SP returns. It's so good.
So we'll go into the other cards. We've got a 1-for-1. All our starters are level 1s. Go figure. And then for, I guess, the non-engine, we have triple Crossout Designator, 1 Call by the Grave. I prefer this because it's a lot more versatile. Especially in like you don't know what you're going to go against. And then obviously later on it becomes more Snake Eye. But this is just the most versatile engine, and it's good going first and second against some decks. And then hand traps. We played 1 Ash Blossom, 1 Nibiru, 1 Effect Veiler, 1 Ghost Mourner, and 1 Infinite Impermanence. these are just the most common hand traps. Ogre is also very common, but we don't care as much about Ogre, so we decided that because we can play through Ogre significantly easier. These were the 5 most impactful hand traps. If you draw them, it's fine going first, especially if they just support your board. But board breakers are just generally better. These come out most of the time, and the crossouts come out going second the majority of the time. I think.
Yeah.
Okay, then rest in the engine. Board breakers. 3 talents. I'll do that one last. 3 droplets. 3 evenly matched. And 3 dark ruler for the main deck board breakers. We have more inside. The idea was these cards trade really positively. So dark ruler evenly especially. This is going to go for a second as well. Trade really positively into snake eye boards.
Yeah. If you draw evenly against snake eyes, you pretty much win. Like.
Yeah, it's because it trades so positively, and it's just a numbers game. Because if they end up with like 1 or 2 interruptions, or normally it's 2, you can play through that with just Plant Engine quite easily, especially if you draw access to Ragnaraika or something like that, or Unexpected Die.
And then, and any combination of these is just you instantly win the game pretty much.
Yeah, a combination of these is FTK, and then post side obviously we go into more, and especially since we have Aroma blend, if we draw one of these that aren't good going first, we can just discard it for free. It's fine. And the last non-engine card. Rivalry of Warlords. Yay!
Floodgates.
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 Flip it against Snake Eye and have fun.
Mm-hmm.
I kept drawing against Tempai though.
I drew it against Tempai.
Okay, then we'll just go for extra deck. So I believe this should be completely standard.
Yeah.
Dry Ass. Healer. Yeah, Dry Ass and Healer.
I didn't expect that.
3 Aroma Stephanie Jasmine. A lot of the combo. So I know some people do play 2, and that's valid. However, I do think the 3rd comes up quite a lot, especially in even aside from the combos that I use that use 3, because I do use a lot of combos that use 3. The other reason that Jasmine comes up a lot is I had multiple games where I was playing through. I believe there was a game in top 8 where I had to play through Ash, Imperm, Nib, and then I had to go through all 3 of my Jasmines, just to keep triggering or attempting to trigger the effect to gain when you gain points to search. So 3 came up for me just to play through hand traps, as well as just to get extra extensions on the combo. Because it's more board breakery, it's nice to end on things like Rosewhip more easily. So
yeah, 3 definitely came up for me a lot too, through hand traps and I do feel like 3 is kind of necessary.
Yeah, 100% 3 of these. And then the other aromas we have Rosemary, honestly best card in the extra deck, and Magnolia. Rosemary just searching blend and making sure any 3 plants on field is combo is absurd. This changed the entire deck. Because now any 3 plants on board, even if you use Jasmine, is just combo. Then for the random links, we have Skeletal Soldier for the Ragnaraika package. Melius, because you want to bounce healer with the Skeletal, so you go Skeletal Soldier effect Engrave, bounce healer, use Skeletal Soldier plus Loci to make Melius, reborn back the Loci, and then you can use healer again to gain from Jasmine. To gain for Jasmine triggers. So there's loads of combos through hand traps that end up using these in combo, which is really, really cool.
The Melius combos are really good, and they do come up quite often as well.
Melius bouncing healer I think is a really underused one, but it's one I think you do need to play 3 Jasmine for. Just super useful combo. Then Dance Peon, it's not. You can get lucky off the mill, but it's there for the level manipulation. Yeah. And then Bengal Lancer, he has a forward arrow. It's really annoying. A general tip, especially in Snake Eye format, is trying to summon this in main monster zone, and then fusion summoning Magnolia Interaction monster zone so that you play around Anima. And then for the last cards in extra deck, we have 2 Strenna, Teardrop, Hyper. Yeah, this is standard. Yeah. I wouldn't play any of the exercises in this. I still think ending on Hyper is necessary, especially in board breaker format. Or more board breakery format. It's a bit of a mix right now. Extra side deck. I was a big fan of 3 Phantasme.
I was also a big fan of 3 Phantasme.
So we're playing quite board break heavy builds, and Phantasme, we're already meaning what? 12 hard board breakers, and then we're siding into a bunch more.
Yeah, there's a lot of board breakers that you want to draw into.
Especially since we do play a lot of like soft bricks. So being able to draw into your more just engine cards and put back a soft brick, like for example, a Sunsea Twin, maybe you've drawn a Sowing, a second Loci, or you've had too many normal summons.
Yeah.
Just be able to dig for board breakers and drop those is really, really valuable.
Also, this for like Princess on your turn is also really nice.
Yeah, so if your hand's already really good and you're afraid of talents, you can just wait for them to summon Princess, use it as an extender, because you can use non-plants as link materials now with Ragnaraika. And it's also, the targeting protection is huge against Princess.
Yeah.
Then, also when they summon IP as well.
Yeah.
Anyway, we've got 2 copies of Lightning Storm and a copy of Duster. These were good. It's more board breakers and also triple talent thrust. So we go up to what? That's 12, 18. 18 plus some board breakers, potentially, post side, which also then means that the thing with hand traps is if you play 20, like over 20 hand traps, you still have less than 50% chance to see 2 because you're playing 60. But you only really need to see 1 board breaker in a lot of situations, especially if it's like an impactful board breaker like Dark Roller or Droplets. So, yeah, just maxing out on board breakers was much more valuable with 60 card deck in my opinion. Anything to note on these cards, or just good cards?
Just always performed really well.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Then we did play 2 thrust targets in main, which was Different Dimension Grounds and Deep Barrier. So again, when we went against more hand trap heavy builds, or variants even, just being able to go, even if you set up a little bit of a board, because we have Petal Recursion for every game, one of these just to stall out for a turn while we're under Shifter. This one for like Tenpai, if you get shifted, you can just set this from deck and then just like skip a turn, Shifter's gone. This for hand trap Snake Eye boards. Yeah. This I never actually resolved.
Yeah, me neither. Like, the Dim Barrier though came up quite a lot. Like, against Tenpai, it like won me so many games.
Like, I think DGG is good in theory, it just didn't come up for us in practice. Just didn't have the thrust in hand when we had hand trap versions of Snake Eye.
Yeah, played against mostly board breaker versions of Snake Eye anyway.
But this was, especially against Tenpai, I think I played like 6 Tenpai or something in total. Then the rest of it is all one-offs. We have 1 Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit, and 1 Drawn Lockbird. These are just for when we go against hand trap heavy decks, for example, a hand trap version of Voiceless, a very heavy hand trap version of Snake Eye. We just play extra cross-out targets because they also support your board.
Yeah.
Like, you're fine to draw these because they support your board on top, especially if they end up, because even hand trap builds play Droplets right now. And then the final 2 cards, Spider Orchid. I used it once in the tournament. I knew you used it more than me though.
Yeah, I used it against Voiceless Voice. I think I used it once. It would like, I think only once.
So the reason to play Orchid is just skill drain.
Yeah.
It makes Glamour and Concept from deck into an out to skill drain. Yeah, it gives you an out to skill drain that, it means that 5 cards in your deck suddenly can out skill drain. And then 1 copy of Notoria Rosewhip. Because people are on more board breakery decks, if you just end on this, 1, half their board breakers just get turned off, and 2, if they have to Droplets, they can't use a field spell or use a spell and send. They just have to ditch 4 or 5 cards from their hand.
Also, branded.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really good thing like branded. It was really good against. It was really good against Tenpai as well. Especially now that Tenpai are switching to more board breaker like Regeki Dark Hole builds. Yeah. We don't get affected by that, but it's just nice that if they use one of those, then they can't do anything else. The important thing to note is that this guy always end on this against this form. I'm always ending on this because there's more board breakers. This stops plants being destroyed by card effects. So Tenpai, Tenpai was always. We always went to we didn't drop anything to Tenpai, right?
No.
like Tenpai was the best matchup for this deck because you just end on this. Plus you don't even need this, but obviously it's nice.
And all the Tenpai matches that I had all drew Dark Hole Raigeki, but it just didn't do anything because of this.
Mine didn't always draw that, but regardless, especially with the attack boost effect, if they can't get to Phaedra for whatever reason, it's just very strong.
Do you have anything to add about Rosewhip, Laura?
Branded feature match. That's all I've got to say.
Nothing about your potential side deck?
Oh, I was on a 14 card side deck. I forgot to add Rosewhip on my Neuron deck list. So I was on a 14 card side deck for the entire event.
It was great for me.
It might have been great. I don't know.
I mean, it didn't. Your loss in Top Cut, it wasn't because of Rosewhip.
Yeah. I was fine.
Yeah, it didn't. The Rosewhip didn't affect that match. Didn't affect the outcome.
Yeah, the matches where I would have summoned it, I won anyway, so it didn't matter.
But I think that's it. Yeah. That's it for the deck profile. That is the 60 card plant pile list that we got second and top 16 with. I think 11th, technically.
11th, yeah.
Like, technically 11th at UK Nationals. Deck was absurd. Our win rate with it was over 85%. I think mine was like above 95% or something.
Yep.
Oh no, just below 95%. But yeah, I hope this is useful. I've got loads of guides and resources on this deck. If you just check out my channel with stuff like combo resources and big combo guide.
Yeah, check out the combo guide. There's a really big 3-hour combo guide that she's got on her channel, so check that out.
So this is learn the deck to beat the deck.
Yes.
Learn this to beat
Yes, Europeans, learn the deck, please.
Well, maybe don't.
Okay,
let me
don't,
win. But
yeah.
Anyway, thanks so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and see you guys in the next video.